My grandparents were sharecroppers. I don't know if many of you know what that is, but they didn't own the land, but the way that they stayed on the land, and in terms of the way they paid the rent or the lease, was they had to work the fields. Again, the land was owned by someone else, which was primarily whites, and my grandparents actually did the planting, the farming, and worked the land. Money was made because they had to. Money was made. But it was very little that my grandparents earned. But guess what? They saved. They saved, and they were able to buy land for them to move to. So it wasn't always that agreement. However, my parents did own land afterwards. It was willed to them from my grandparents, and which is still in our family today. A lot of black people didn't own land then. And again, back when we were talking about my parents being in rural Georgia, they had high school education, however, no formal education in terms of advanced degrees. However, they knew in order for them to, I guess, do better or have a piece of that American dream, they had to leave. My father did get a job with the railroad. My mother worked for a drugstore when she first came up here, but which subsequently she became the manager of that drugstore. The housing is a lot better. Just to give you an idea, my parents my mom bought her first house in 1972, and I was still fairly young. I was still in elementary school when that occurred. I will tell you that we were the first African American family on our street. And soon, and I'm just going to say within 30 days, and I'm not exaggerating, within 30 days, you start seeing for sale signs going up in the neighborhood, because it was all white at the time. And when they saw black families were moving in, merely whites were moving out. I voted for the first time when I was 17 and a half, because I was going to be, I was turned 18 on the day that I voted, November 4th. I'm not going to tell you the year, but November 4th was I turned 18, and my mom took me to the polls to vote. At that time, it was a presidential election. A lot of people can't say that they went with their parents to vote, because even today, people of color, we still have a vast number of people that are unregistered voters. You're seeing a lot of people still dropping out of high school, merely people of color. Whereas I'm wondering, it's my hope that education will be taken seriously like it used to be. It seems like more has been afforded to us since the civil rights era, but education, which you thought would still be in the forefront of people's mind, is still becoming a challenge.